Joined now by Tom Kertscher, one of our Politifact Wisconsin staff writers. He's been with us since the beginning, 5 years now. I noticed you didn't bring me a cake today, Tom, but we're marking the 5 years of Politifact Wisconsin. It was a little bit different back then because we had, of course, the top races were Scott Walker running for a higher chief executive post, Johnson versus Feingold. So maybe not all that different from today, but what we want to do, Tom, is run through our top 5 most clicked items. So let's start with the first one. This was from filmmaker Michael Moore, who said just 400 Americans, 400, have more wealth than half of all Americans combined, and we rated that one true. Tell us about it.
Yeah, think back to 2011 and the Act 10 protests in Madison, and Michael Moore, the filmmaker, came to Madison and made that statement. What we took a look at was for 2010, the net worth of people, so net worth as in your assets, savings, etc., minus your liabilities. What we found is that the net worth of the 400 richest Americans was actually more than half of all other Americans combined.
Yeah, the thing to remember on this one is you're looking at the wealth. So you can have a good job, you can have a nice house, but you may have a negative net worth based on what you owe and what you have.
Big mortgages, big credit card debts that can affect it.
All right, so our number 4 item came from Governor Scott Walker, and it was his promise to create 250,000 private sector jobs in his first term. We followed this on the Walkometer, and that got a promise broken. Tom.
Yeah, his 2010 campaign, that was his main promise, that the private sector would create 250,000 jobs during his first term. Only about half that number were created.
All right, number 3, our third most clicked item in the last 5 years was an article we did about solving the mystery of Scott Walker's college years and his entry into politics. And this is ever more popular, it seems, this article.
Yeah, it's kind of an enduring value. A mystery in the sense of there have been for years allegations, rumors about Scott Walker's time as a student at Marquette University. In particular, whether he was involved in some scandal in student government elections, whether because of grades he may have been asked to leave the school. We did not find evidence of those things. What we found is that Marquette said he was in good standing when, as a senior, he left the school and took a job with the Red Cross.
All right, in that article, it also looked at how there were some inconsistencies in the governor's own explanations of when and why he left and so forth.
And he, may have left some lingering questions in that he has refused even now to release his transcripts from Marquette.
Okay. All right, number 2, this might be a surprise to our readers. It's by a Mitt Romney statement, who said Barack Obama has pension investments that include Chinese firms and investments through a Cayman's trust. We rated that one mostly true. Just a step back, remind people where this was coming from. It was out of a presidential debate in that election.
Yeah, in the 2012 presidential election, there had been statements about Mitt Romney's investments, and he came back and said, look, Mr. Obama, you also have investments in the Cayman Islands Trust in Chinese companies. It was mostly true because as a state lawmaker, former state lawmaker in Illinois, Obama collects a pension, but like a lot of pension funds, they're managed professionally. In that Illinois fund, there were investments in Chinese companies and Cayman Islands Trust, but those investments are not done with the direct involvement of people like Obama who are collecting pensions.
All right, and for those who are wondering why did a Mitt Romney item show up even on our list, we were helping Politifact National that night fact-check the debate, and that one was assigned over to us.
Right.
We got good hits on it. And finally, our top item ever in the last 5 years was an in-context article. It was Hillary Clinton's "What Difference Does It Make" comment. This was in a back and forth with Senator Ron Johnson about the attack on the consulate in Benghazi. But tell us a little more about it, Tom.
Right. There was a Senate committee hearing. Ron Johnson was asking Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State at the time, about that bombing of the consulate in Libya. 4 Americans were killed. He had questions about the circumstances involving that. And at one point, Hillary Clinton made a statement that got a lot of attention. She said, with all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided that they'd go out and kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
All right, and we can thank our friend Matt Drudge a little bit for the boost on that one, because he gave that a prominent look, and suddenly our hits were skyrocketing that one, and it remains our top item. So for our viewers, we've got a lot more items coming up today and this weekend on the Labor Day fact checks and others. So check us out at politifactwisconsin.com. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
You bet.